Hello, I'm Kyle,
I'm Griffin.
and this is the Cedar Log. The information for this series on the history of Unami Lodge 1 comes from the book The Brotherhood of Cheerful Service, the Centennial History of Unami Lodge 1. You can still get a copy of this book if you visit www.unamilodge.org. Scroll to the bottom of the homepage and click the Trading Posts tab.
In 2006, our LEC decided to do a community service once each year and have one project for the entire lodge. This began to our annual community service day, and in 2013, 3 project sites were held around the council to enable more airmen to participate.
In 2008, it was decided that Treasure Island would close. The flood in 2005 and heavy rains in Rushing River in 2006 had caused great damage that was too costly to repair. The damage in 2006 was worse than it was in 2005, and it was simply unfeasible to fix the damage again when another flood could sweep it all away at any moment. Our last fall fellowship at TI was held that year with nearly 400 in attendance.
In 2009, our lodge hosted an inaugural NE5B conclave at Ruska Falls with 350 in attendance.
In 2010, our lodge celebrated its 95th anniversary, but tragedy struck in August. Tom Richards, a past lodge officer and section chief, unexpectedly passed away. In remembrance of Tom's and in commitment to developing our council camps, our lodge decided to build a state-of-the-art amphitheater at Ruska Falls. The final product was a covered stage that could handle typical stage equipment and a sound room, plus plenty of benches for the audience. In 2012, Richards Arena opened at the Back to the Falls Camporee and was filled to its 900-person capacity.
Sadly, in 2012, Steve Ranjo, a past lodge chief and advisor, was killed in a traffic accident. This was a major blow to the council and our lodge. Hundreds of people gathered to pay their respects to Steve, and our lodge began to look for a way to honor his memory.
Steve had a vision for a central gathering place in camp, and thus the Steve Ranjo Memorial Clock Tower was built to realize that dream. The project was funded by donations from the many people Steve had impacted.
And now for a message from the committee. Take it away, Luke.
If you or someone you know has a part of scouting history, please feel free to reach out to us through our social media or our email. Also, this is a reminder to check out the Unami Lodge online virtual store, where you can get patches, apparel, and so much more. Thank you, and enjoy the history.
Also, in 2012, Ray Kapp, chairman of the National Order of the Arrow Committee, proposed moving the ceremonial grounds at TI to the Summit Bechtel Reserve. Several tons of rock would have to be moved, and plans were made to achieve this difficult task.
It was decided that things would be moved off the island via helicopter, and Unami partnered with Wetaskiman Lodge to achieve this. Over many workdays, volunteers disassembled and moved the rock walls, podium, and many loads of stone. The last workday was held in the summer of 2014.
The National Committee subsidized the cost of the helicopter and transportation costs of moving everything to West Virginia. An event called Advance gave everyone a first look at the new grounds called the Summit Circle.
In 2015, our lodge geared up to celebrate not only our 100th anniversary, but the 100th anniversary of our order as a whole. Our lodge was hosting the conclave, and the planning had started back in 2011. The theme was Awaken Our Past, Define Our Future, and was held at Ruska Falls. 562 airmen, including our region chief and members of the national leadership, were in attendance. Activities included sports, patch trading, Meet the Man, a gathering of past Unami chiefs, and Aero Tour, which was a traveling display of OA history. A museum of Unami history and a Native American village were also held as part of the program. Later that evening, a banquet was held and a time capsule was buried to be opened in 2065.
In more recent times, our lodge hosted another conclave in 2017, created websites for our camps, and added a square store for our lodge trading post. With the current pandemic, the lodge has fully moved into the digital era with the LEC, chapter meetings, and fellowships conducted over Zoom. We've even filmed a virtual lodge dinner that premiered on our lodge YouTube channel. The future is always uncertain, but our lodge will continue to move forward as we define our second century of service.
Before we end this episode of the Cedar Log, I would like to make a quick apology on behalf of the committee. We accidentally said 2017 instead of 2018 for a conclave that was held by Unami. Again, a 2018 conclave was held by Unami, not 2017. Sorry about any interruptions.
The Cedar Log is a production of the Unami Lodge 1 History Committee. The script for this series was done by Reese, Phil Hittner, and Michael G. Comfort. Audio and editing by Luke, video by Kyle, and hosted by Kyle and Griffin.